Welcome to Nifty Banknifty quick analysis with top stocks and important levels. Starting things off with Nifty's daily chart. What can we see here? हम लोग देख सकते हैं कि Nifty actually 50 MA के आसपास ही है, सिर्फ 1% away from the 50 moving average, which is very interesting considering that not too long ago it was actually around 3% away, 2.5% away, which is very cool. RSI हम लोग देख सकते हैं 51 पे है, which is interesting. Again, RSI 50 above is basically bullish bias. Now coming to the 60-minute chart, and I'll just hide the moving average for now. 60-minute chart, what can we see? I'll hide the retracements as well, at least for now. And what we can see here is 733 level के आसपास ही है. So 733 is a level support level, and as long as that is held, आई थिंक इट शुड बी गुड. आज का पहला घंटा एक्चुअली ये सपोर्ट से लेके रेजिस्टेंस के बीच में गया था एंड वी सॉ प्रिटी साइजेबल गैप डाउन. इन फैक्ट द गैप डाउन इटसेल्फ was around 2%, no, 1.1% or 170 points, which is pretty intense. So ये जो support था वो उधर से वो resistance तक गया and from there it took resistance and it came back down here. It actually broke it, 700 retest कर दिया. So the low for the day was actually 707 and from there it took support and it came back up. So overall very choppy day, I would say. And if we see on a low basis, it is almost filled in this gap, which is very cool. Now if I do the 5-minute chart again just to understand, हम लोग देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पे आया, ये रेजिस्टेंस क्रॉस नहीं कर पाया 835 का. 835 as a level we've already discussed, right? 835 is a very important level. पहले क्लोज ही नहीं कर पाता था, दो दिन क्लोज किया और फिर से नीचे आ गया. सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्लियरली. And then it took resistance, came back down. 733 support, took support here, and this is where the retracement actually comes in. I'll draw it and you will be able to see. ये retracement किया 38.2 से नीचे आ गया and then after breaking that level 38.2 फिर से एक नया low बनाया and then it came up. So bit wordy analysis there, but that is what we saw with Nifty. Banknifty, clearly that bullish trend has completely gone out of the window. But what we can see here, and I'll come to this in the 60-minute chart, what we can see here, Banknifty is actually at the 50 MA. So Banknifty is at the 50 moving average. RSI 50 के नीचे है, but 50 MA के ऊपर है, right at 50 MA. That's a good sign. I feel in the past, we have seen that 50 daily moving average is a very important level. So this was bound to happen. कभी भी जब भी market एकदम high हो जाता है away from the moving average, there's something called as mean reversion that happens. And when mean reversion happens, there's a chance that it can come close to the moving average. So that is what we are seeing, especially because 36,000 के जो levels थे उससे नीचे आ गया है. That is perfectly normal, I feel. If we talk about the gap down open, it's around 2%, 2.2% जितना, which actually happens to be how many points? It happens to be around 600 points. काफी intense gap down. Now coming to the 60-minute chart again, moving average hide कर देता हूँ, levels वापस लाता हूँ. What we can see here is that this gap level here has been held. So as long as this gap is held, that's good. And on the lower side, okay, 34,644 is the level that I'm looking at. Very interesting to see that Nifty पे 835 का एक level था, very important resistance or a support, and Bank Nifty पे 35,815 का level है, both का 800 ही level है, which is very interesting. और वो actually close किया था ऊपर और फिर नीचे एकदम sharp gap down आ गया. So similar in both the cases. RSI is above 40, तो होने ही वाला है, to be very honest. And the 60-minute chart, the 5-minute chart actually looks like this. 338, 35, 338 का resistance लेके नीचे आ गया. The good thing is कि 35,000 के ऊपर close किया है. So let's see how that goes. Now I'll come to Reliance. ठीक है. Now we'll come to the top stocks. टॉप स्टॉक्स में हम लोग क्या देख सकते हैं? हम लोग देख सकते हैं कि 50 MA रिजेक्ट किया है. 2125 का आज हाई 2124 था, just 1 point away from the resistance. RSI 50 resistance, which is not good. HDFC बैंक ने काफी खराब किया है. Obviously earnings आए थे सैटरडे को, and earnings को leading up to the earnings, it was right at resistance, and it opened gap down. 1460 का support लिया, 50 DMA broken. So let's see how it goes. 1460 के ऊपर I think bullishness is still there. If this red line is broken, ठीक है, जो red zone है वो तोड़ता है, then I think it really comes into a very tricky territory, especially for banks in general, because sentiments might be an issue. around those levels. So let's see how that goes. In fact, because उसका रिजल्ट था, मैं वीकली चार्ट कर देता हूँ, so हम लोग को एक आइडिया आ जाता है. वीकली चार्ट में हम लोग देख सकते हैं कि वीकली प्रिटी मच मई से, okay, since May, or in fact since 17th May, what we have seen is that HDFC has been consolidating in a 4% range. If you recall, Axis Bank भी ऐसा हुआ था daily chart पे, and when it actually broke out, it gave a pretty sizable move. So I think HDFC Bank भी एक बड़ा move दे सकता है, either up or down. We won't know that obviously, but weekly पे भी RSI 60 resistance है. So pretty long-ish analysis for HDFC Bank, but that's required. Result था उसका, तो बनता ही है. Infosys 1534 का लेवल वी हैड डिस्कस्ड एंड 1534 पे ही है राइट नाउ. सो लेट्स सी अगर ये लेवल होल्ड कर पाता है. दिस इज अ फिब एक्सटेंशन, ट्रेंड बेस्ड फिब एक्सटेंशन. सो अगर ये लेवल होल्ड कर पाता है देन अच्छा है. आई एक्सपेक्ट 1560 टू बी अ रेजिस्टेंस नाउ. सो लेट्स सी हाउ दैट गोज. HDFC अगर देखते हैं, HDFC वी कैन सी इट्स एक्चुअली एट 2480 व्हिच इज एन इंपॉर्टेंट जोन. और मैंने बोला था कि इवन दो इट्स अबाउट 2500, really 2620 के ऊपर ही I am expecting some strong bullishness to happen, because below that we have seen it just absolute cluster में ही रहता है उसके नीचे. मतलब उतना अच्छा है ही नहीं as a trade in my view. And as far as supports go, 2550 2450 के आसपास आ सकता है. ये जो लाइन है, वो ये जो जोन है रादर, वो यहाँ पे भी रेजिस्टेंस में ही था, रेजिस्टेंस लेके नीचे आ गया है. नेक्स्ट स्टॉक दैट वी आर लुकिंग एट इज एक्चुअली ICICI बैंक. ICICI बैंक पे हम लोग देख सकते हैं 50 DMA के आसपास आ रहा है. 665 रिजेक्ट करके गैप फिल कर दिया है उसने, एंड नाउ इट इज ऑनवर्ड्स टू फिलिंग ऑलमोस्ट दिस गैप आल्सो. 50 DMA भी है. So let's see how that goes. Next stock we are looking at is Kotak Bank. Kotak Bank पे what we can see, 50 DMA rejection, 1760 rejection, and this support here. So if I just have to draw a support zone, possibly this would be one. And 1700 retest is can't be ruled out, I would say. आज retest किया था कि नहीं, आज नहीं किया था, तो 1700 retest can't be ruled out. Buying हुआ है lower levels पे, but then again we don't know what might happen tomorrow. SGX के हिसाब से gap down open हुआ market Nifty, but because sometimes it just takes support. For example, अनुष के साथ जो वीडियो था वीकली का, उसमें हम लोग ने बात किया कि there's a chance that even after a gap down open it might take support. सपोर्ट लिया था इनिशियली, फिर नीचे आ गया. सो सेंटिमेंट्स का गेम है आई थिंक आज तो. 420 सपोर्ट टेकन फॉर SBI विच इज अ गुड साइन. 50 DMA भी आ रहा है विच इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टू सी. RSI 60 रेजिस्टेंस है, सो अनलेस आई रियली सी a decisive close above RSI 60, which might happen above 435. I'm not really sure about SBI. Axis Bank we can see काफी बेकार कैंडल है, to be very honest. गैप डाउन इधर ओपन हुआ था, ऊपर आया, काफी ऊपर आया, अराउंड 2% ऊपर आया, रिकवर किया, बट देन इट ऑलवेज ऑलमोस्ट केम बैक डाउन. सो अराउंड 0.6% जितना, 0.5% जितना वो सिर्फ ऊपर कर पाया फ्रॉम इट्स ओपन, विच इज नॉट वेरी गुड. 50 DMA is also here, but let's see what happens. This was at resistance, so even in the Market Chronicles weekly episode और weekly document जो जाता है, उसमें भी मैंने mention किया था कि ये रेजिस्टेंस पे ही है काफी सारे बैंकिंग स्टॉक्स इंक्लूडिंग एक्सिस बैंक. सो लेट्स सी हाउ दैट गोस. सो एनीवे, इफ यू आर क्यूरियस अबाउट SGX Nifty, तो make sure you check out the shorts that I uploaded yesterday. And that's about it for this one. See you in the next time. Happy trading.